Are you able to hear me? Okay, perfect. So I am going to follow Selenide live channel in our Slack channel. So no other channel will be followed. So make sure if you are willing to, ask some question, get some answers, I will only follow up the Selenide live channel from the Slack. Thank you. Okay. So we are going to today start Selenide classes. It will be 8 sessions, so it will be from today until Sunday, 2 sessions each. So we are going to have 2 sessions of Selenide today. It will take about 3 hours. And today we will just do some intro, and we will talk about the navigations, locators, page object model, and assertions in Selenide. It is pretty much, if you have any Selenium background or Cucumber background, then you will be able to easily get the Selenide. It is pretty much advanced version of Selenium, so it is a good bonus if you already know some automation, if you already know some Selenium, then it will be very easy for you to get the Selenide. All right, so first of all, and this will be a little bit fast-paced. So I'm assuming that the participants already have some, automation knowledge and a little bit Selenium knowledge. So it will be a bit fast-paced because we have 8 sessions, and I'm trying to teach you the content that is, at least to, beginner to mid-level contents you will be learning after the 8 sessions. And I will try to answer the Slack questions. If any question from Slack channel, Selenide_live_ channel, then we will be answering those questions from there. So if you are asking any question from YouTube or any, Zoom, I will not be able to answer, unfortunately, because it is gonna be, too distracting for me. All right. So, and by the way, if any of your friends would like to learn a little bit Selenide, you can join the Slack channel, or you can invite your friends so they can join our Slack live channel. It is for public. Okay, so Selenide is pretty much an automation framework for web applications, just like Selenium. And when I teach the Selenide concept, I will compare it with Selenium mostly, because Selenide and Selenium, it is like hand to hand. They are not actually there are not a lot of differences, but Selenide things make a little bit easier. So Selenide is a framework for test automation powered by Selenium WebDriver. So after Selenium WebDriver, we have Selenide. It is kind of a little bit library for derived by Selenium. Selenide and Selenium can be used together. So if you already know Selenium, all you have to do is add Selenide dependency to your framework, and you are ready to go. It is not going to break your existing Selenium framework. It is just going to be a big plus, big bonus for your framework, for assertions, for locating elements, for even using some page object model framework. It will be a better framework if you add Selenium capability. And again, the good news is Selenide and Selenium can be used together with no issue. Selenide and JUnit, Selenide and TestNG, Selenide and Cucumber can be used in the same framework with no issue. So I'm going to first talk about navigations. So right, yeah, if you are QA, you are in the right place, right? So this Selenide is going to be kind of, again, one step further after Selenium for web application. Whatever you do with Selenium, you can do same thing with Selenide, a little bit sometimes short version and cool version. And meanwhile, we are going to have some more live sessions in the upcoming months. I'm preparing some more content that is different than Selenium and Selenide. And you can stay in touch with our team to get more details. So we are going to have more advanced testing skills in the near future, and we will make it. Some of them will be also public for to improve the testing skills. All right. So navigations, first of all, I hope you already watched the installation video. So because we are going to go from there, so I hope you have already a framework, Cucumber framework, in hand. So we will go from there. So all we have to do is now we are going to create future files with page object model and use Selenide futures. So first of all, in Selenide, navigations exist, and it is a little bit shorter than Selenium. For example, we have open function to go to a URL. That was also in the installation video. Again, if you don't have an installation video, I can, you can just go to Techpro Education and get that Selenide first video. So we can go to a URL using open keyword. We don't need to use any driver. We don't need to use any WebDriver manager, nothing. It will take you to a page. And by default, it opens in a Chrome driver. But we will learn how to do testing in Firefox, in Safari, and etc. in the upcoming lessons. There is back function. It is going to take to the previous page. Forward function is going to take to the next page, and refresh function is going to take you. Actually, it's going to refresh the current page. So we don't need to use any driver that manage something like that we do in Selenium. In here, you just call these functions. They are coming from Selenide library. We have to do this static import that will easily use these static methods in Selenide. Okay. So let's write a test case for that. So I'm going to share the test case from the live channel. Okay, go. Right. So I'm going to open my IntelliJ. So we are going to first create our test case. This was the starting framework. If you don't have it, you can easily create it. If you already, have some Selenium background, all we have to do is just create these folders and add these Selenide dependency, Selenide, Cucumber JUnit, and Cucumber Java dependencies. So first of all, we already have our navigation feature. If you don't have it, please create a 01 underscore navigation.feature. That is the name of the feature file. Let me share the name one more time. This is the name of the feature file. And this was our starting test case given I navigate to Google page. So we will go from here. Okay, so I'm going to write my feature file, manually. So given I navigate to google.com, then I will not maximize the window for now. I will skip this one right here. Also, let me delete from the slide. Selenide keep upgrading itself. I will just don't use that for now. So we are just going to have the other navigation features. So given I navigate to google.com and I navigate to, from Google, let's go to amazon.com. Then I wait for 5 seconds. I will put some wait. And I navigate back, and I navigate forward, and I refresh the page. Then I hold the browser open. Okay, so now I wrote here. So this is again for those of you who may not have much idea about Cucumber. Cucumber is an automation framework that is really understandable, easy to use, and it is getting very popular. It is slightly new tool for web automations. So in Cucumber, we have this future component, future file component. This is where we write our test cases. So this is our test case. This is our test case. In our test case, we are going to go to Google, then go to Amazon, then we will put some 5 seconds wait, then go back to the previous page, then go to the next page, then refresh the page. In here, right here, normally in Selenide, browser is closing itself automatically. We can also keep the browser open if we want to. So that's why I want to show you how to keep the browser open for debug purpose. So this is our test case. Let me share this from the chat. Right, there it is. It is our test case. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to have this navigations tag. I'm going to run that navigations tag to generate those missing step definition. So by default, this is our English section. There is no code behind. There is no code behind these steps. When I try to run this test case, either you can run from here or you can right click and run. These 2 steps will be generating it, they will work, but the next following steps will need a Java code behind. There is no Java code we wrote. So I'm going to just run from runner, because here, try to run this runner. So make sure your dry run is true. Okay, to generate the step definition, I will just run my runner class. Again, I'm assuming that you're all familiar with Cucumber. If not familiar with Cucumber, that is fine. We just need to you just need to listen as much as you can, and you will get the Cucumber concept by the end of the sessions. So I run my navigations tag, okay, and I have this missing step definition. I wait for a couple seconds. I navigate back. I navigate forward. I refresh the page. I hold the browser open. So I'm going to copy all these. Okay, copy all these. Copy all these missing step definition. And I'm going to share from the chat. Okay, so those are the Java methods, right? Those Java methods are going to be in our step definition class. So Java codes will go here, test case will go here. So I already completed my test case right here. I run my runner. System gave me the templates, and I'm gonna paste them in the Google step definitions right here. Again, in the installation, we already have 1 step definition that we created. I'm going to just put the rest. So I navigate to URL, I wait for a couple seconds, I navigate back, I navigate forward, I refresh the page, I hold the browser open. So if you see any red, for example, if you're given or when and then statements are red, just hover over it and then import the class. Hover over and import the class, just like this. Okay. Then we are going to, complete our Java code. So each and every single step must have a Java code behind it. So the logic will be in the Java section right here. I'm gonna clear it up. And when I am done, I will share with you. Okay, let me share this. Share this code with you. If runner doesn't work, you can try to use the future file. So if runner is not working, also you can get help from our tech support team. Okay. So again, these sessions will be for upskills. Like I normally go very slow in the classes, but now since most of you already know the Cucumber, it will be boring if I explain every single step. So I'm going a little bit fluently. I hope you understand that, okay? So again, if your runner is not working, you can copy the code that I shared with you and put it in the Google Step Definitions class. Okay, so what happened so far is we had our starting future file that was in the installation video, and we write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more steps. We generated a step definition. We pasted in the Google Step Definitions right here. And now we are going to complete our Java code. So all we have to do is just use the Selenide functions. That is actually very easy to use, even easier than normal Selenium. Okay, so this one right here already done. I already navigated to, let me open in 2 pages. Okay, so I navigate to Google. So this will take care of the first step. I navigate to Amazon. This is also a reusable step, right? So it doesn't matter what you pass here. If you say Google, it will take you to the Google page. If you say Amazon, this step will take you to the Amazon. So this is already done. We don't need to create any new step for that. We are done with this. Now the second step is I wait for 5 seconds. I wait for some seconds. So we are parameterizing this future file so it can be reusable. In this case, all we have to do is we just need to, navigate to a special, using a specific method. So how I can navigate? So all I have to do is use. Okay, actually, how I can wait for a couple seconds. So in Selenium, there is thread dot sleep. Okay, thread dot sleep. Sleep function that is coming from Java. That is for hard wait. In Selenide, we have also sleep function right here. Sleep. We don't need to say thread dot sleep. All we have to do is sleep, but it takes millisecond. So you just import that sleep function, and we just say how many seconds we want to wait. Okay, this many seconds we want to wait. But we have to multiply that by 1000 because this is millisecond. So if you say 5 seconds is equal to 5000 milliseconds. So here 5 seconds is equal to 5000 milliseconds. So we have to multiply this by 100 because it will be then 5. If you just here put just int, it will be waiting just 5 milliseconds, which is less than a second. So this is the reusable step definition. So whenever I want to wait, I will reuse this step definition. Okay, so this is gonna be waiting for 5 seconds. In Selenide, again, no need to use thread.sleep, just use sleep function to wait, and this is hard wait. We are gonna use some explicit weight in Selenide as well in the upcoming classes, but this is just hard weight for now. You also need to know that. So I waited for 5 seconds. So this step is done. This is gonna make me wait for 5 seconds. Next one is I navigate back. How do I navigate back with Selenide? In Selenium, it is driver manage, driver navigate to back. But in here, all we have to do is call back function, just back. It is gonna take us to the previous page. So we were on Amazon last time. It will take us back to the Google. Okay, it will back us to the Google. Next one is I navigate forward. So to go to the back to the next page, I'm gonna put here forward. All I have to do is forward function. As you see, it is very straightforward. Then refresh the page. To refresh the page, guess what? All we have to do is call refresh function. This is going to refresh the page. It is gonna click on the refresh button on the page. Refresh, and then, okay, so I will do this one later. So I just want you to know that Selenide closes the browser automatically. We don't have to say driver.close driver. In Selenide, driver is automatically closed, but if you don't want it to be closed, then you can use a function that I will show you in a minute, okay? So let's run this. Let me share this code so far, and then I will be, okay, and I will be running my class. Guys, I am sorry, we cannot wait. Recording will be available, so our friends can, watch from recording if anything is missing, okay? So we have some 8-session class. If I wait, I'm afraid we cannot finish, okay? So now I am done with my step future file test scenario, and I am done with my step definitions, okay? Step definitions just like that. Now I will run my class, and then maybe we can give maybe a 5-minute break after we run the class, okay? So you all can complete that. Let me run the runner, but when I run from runner, I need to make this try run false, so I can run my test cases. Let's run it. Run my test class. Let's run it, and then I will give you a 5-minute break. Okay, so we are on the Google page. Now waiting for 5 seconds. Now it is back to the Amazon. Waiting for 5 seconds right now. And now it will go back to Google. Like it is gonna press this button right here. Then back to the Amazon. Then refresh the page, then close the browser. So it is very slow. Maybe we can put here in 5 seconds in each step. Then we can see clearly. Okay, let me run one more time. Okay, so it's going back and forward. Okay, we put too much weight. Okay, it is done. So let me give you 5 minutes break. Then we will continue. Okay, we will continue in 5 minutes. So meanwhile, you can take care of your missing codes. Then I will be in 5 minutes back. All right, let's continue. So I hope you can hear me fine. Guys, are you able to hear me fine? Let me know from the Slack. Yes, okay. So far, so since this is our first session, I just wanted to give a quick 5-minute break so you can all wrap up and catch up if needed. So we just created one feature file with navigation is the focus. So we are able to see how to go to a page, how to go back, forward, refresh. And now we are on the next step, which is hold the browser open. So maybe you realize that the Selenide don't require you to close the browser because it automatically closes the browser. So what we need to do is we just need to add a step if we want to keep the browser open. So there, for that, I created a reusable step that will keep the browser open if needed. So if you use this step at the end of your test case, the browser will be open. So for that, we just need to use a special class in Selenide. It is configuration. Okay, configuration. It is coming from pom.codeborn.selenide. Okay, Selenide. Make sure you use this one right here. Select that. Okay. This is used for some configuration. For example, the browser type, if you want to change your browser to Firefox or some other browser, you can use that. Assertion mode is here. You can assign a base URL. If you keep working on the same URL, you can assign a base URL. And hold the browser open. This is what I want to show you. You can adjust browser size as well. This is coming from, again, Selenide. So we will use hold browser open. It accepts a Boolean. So it should be either true or false. By default, this is false. So by default, Selenide do not keep browser open. It closes automatically. So what if I need to do some debug? I want to browser open, then I will make it true. Okay. This is going to be used for keeping the browser open. Right, so make sure you import this configuration class up there. Okay, now let's run one more time. I'm gonna run my runner again. Again, if your runner is not working properly because of some either spelling issue or something, the path issue, then you can right click on your future file and then run from here, just like this. And then you can check your runner later. Running my browser, as you see it opened, it will just go to the same thing again. Google, Amazon, refresh the page, and then it will not close the browser in this case. Right. Waiting for 5 seconds. Navigating back to Google, going back to Amazon, refreshing the page. There you go. And then it will not close the browser. Let me see. It closed the browser. Let me see. Configuration, hold browser open. Okay, just a second. Let me refresh the page. Let me refresh the framework. Normally this should not. Okay, close the browser. Run one more time. I will run from runner. Okay. All right, let's see now. Okay. Waiting. Actually, we put too much weight. Okay, now, yeah, now when we run, sometimes this Selenide, guys, when we import that Selenide libraries, sometimes the jar files is not updating properly for the first time. We can either refresh everything or run one more time, okay? So when I run the second time, I'm able to see the browser open. It did not close, then the test case passed, as you see. So this is used just if you want to keep the browser open, then you can do it, okay? Yeah, mine is not closed as well right now. Sometimes again, it closes. It does not understand your command for the first time because of the missing jar files, right? So we are able to just hold the browser open. If you delete that, if you comment this out, your browser will be closed automatically, okay? So I will put here 5 seconds is too much. We are waiting too much. I will put here 3 seconds. Wait, that is reusable. It will automatically wait for 3 seconds. Okay, is there any question on the navigations? Navigations is pretty much it. You just need to know how to go to page and then go back and forward. Okay. All right, next one is the locators. Locators in Selenide. First of all, there are many ways to locate web elements in Selenide. But the most common one is you can locate by ID, by name, by expat, or by CSS. Okay. So these are the most common ones: ID, name, expat, CSS. Especially CSS is used a lot in Selenide because there is easier way to write a CSS locator in Selenide. So here is major difference between Selenium and Selenide, which is the way that we locate the elements. So I will not get deep dive into the locators, you know, HTML inspection and all that. I'm assuming that we already know those Selenium content, you know, how to write expat. Those content are still valid in Selenide. So whatever you know in Selenium, locators, they can be used the same way. However, here, there is a dollar symbol that is used to locate the elements. So in Selenium, it is a little bit different. We don't use that kind of symbol. We use find element or find elements in Selenium. Now they are replaced by dollar or double dollar. So dollar symbol is used to locate the elements. For example, we have here locating a page object. For instance, there is an element on the page. The CSS is this. We can use this dollar symbol and parentheses, and in between we can directly pass the CSS value. Okay, so this is number one. We use dollar symbol and pass the CSS value. So this is CSS selector for a search box in the Google page. This dollar symbol returns a Selenide element. In Selenium, this is web element. In Selenide, this is Selenide element. The second way that we can do is those Selenium content, which is by object. For example, if an element has a name of Q, then we can use dollar symbol, parentheses, by that name. If an element has an ID, we can use dollar symbol, by that ID. If element has an expat, we can do by that expat and pass the expat here. All those 8 locators can be used with this logic, and we will be using this way a lot. I prefer to use this format in Selenide. Again, this returns a Selenide element, which is equivalent to web element in Selenium. How about you want to locate multiple elements? In Selenium, it is find elements method. In Selenide, it is $ and $ symbol. So we can use this $$ to locate the web elements. For example, there are multiple elements whose class is just G. Then you can use this by class name G. If there are 10 matching elements, it will return all of them. And we are going to put list of Selenide elements. And you can get each and every single element from that list. Or alternatively, which is more common and specific to Selenide, instead of using this, we can use this one. These are the same thing, okay, same. These are same. I put here all alternatives you can see or use. We can use this double $sign to locate multiple elements and locate it in a, or store it in a element collection. This is coming from Selenide. Okay, we can use either list of Selenide element or elements collection. Again, I prefer to use element collection since I don't need to import any list for that case. Again, to summarize, to locate the elements, we can use the same methods that we do in Selenium, which is by ID, name, class name, link text, partial link text, expat CSS. Also, we can use this CSS selector. It is just accepting the string. We don't need to use any by object. It will just pass the CSS in here. It will return the web element or Selenide element. And the second major difference is instead of using web element, we use Selenide element. Instead of using list of web element, we use elements collection. So when we use this in the page object model, you will understand how we are able to use those objects. Again, I just put here summary to put the most useful content, because in Selenide there are many ways, different ways to locate the elements. Just learn one or two most common way and go for it. And by the way, I will share these slides later on, so you can also use them if needed. One more thing before we write our test case with locators is there are also functions that some people like to use that returns the web element. So we can use either this format that I just showed you to locate a web element. For example, this is going to locate the element whose name is Q. And we are storing it in a Selenide element. This is one. Alternatively, we can return the web element, the Selenide element, and we can write a function that returns the Selenide element, and we can use this function in our test classes. Okay, but which one is common again? This one is more common, but sometimes you can see this kind of function. Also in Selenium, this is possible, but here, the second way is more common. To locate multiple elements, we can return, again, the locator that returns multiple elements and call that function in the test class. The return type will be elements collection in this case. Alternatively and simply, we just locate the element using $, and then locate it, store it in a element collection, and call that object in the test classes. I will show you them when we do our test case. Okay, So before I write the next test case, I just would like to show you the page object model in Selenide. Again, this is just same as Selenium, Cucumber, but here the functions and the locating elements are different. Everything else is the same in Selenium and Selenide. In Cucumber, there are three important components. The first one is feature file that we just write our test cases. The second and the most important component, one of the most important component of page object model is the page class. And there is the Java code, which is step definition. So these three files is working together to automate one single page. This is our test cases. This is our page objects. This is our step definitions, which is Java code. For instance, if you want to go to a Google page and search for an item, first we are going to write our test case. For example, I search for Tesla. Second, you need to locate that search box in the page class. Third, you need to write your step definition to add the logic, how the system is going to go to Google page and find that input field, and then type the value and click enter. Okay? So we will do this test case with page object model. It is a little bit difficult to use page object model, but I prefer to use, to teach this way. So you can actually, you don't have to spend time to create the framework with page object model. So this is harder, longer at the beginning, but it is more useful and it is going to add value to your skills as well. So we are going to create this page object model with Cucumber. And it's going to take a little bit time and it can be a little bit harder to understand, but this is the way that we should do. We should automate. We should never use normal traditional test cases in our work. Okay, in our job. So I'm gonna just get your questions if there is any question on this page. POM components same as Selenium. Yes, the POM page object model concept is same as Selenium. Okay, page object model, it is pretty much a design pattern. It can be used with JavaScript, C#, Python, Java, Selenium, Selenide, Playwright, what else? WebDriver IO. Okay, they all can be, so we can implement this page object model content to that framework. What is different? The difference is the functions and some of the usages. That is the difference. So again, when you learn one type of framework, rest will be easy to learn. And I encourage you to, see how easy it is to learn any type of skill when you learn one skill. Okay. So again, for the beginners, of course, it will be a little bit challenging at the beginning. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and write our, test case. Okay. Let's create our second feature file. I will create my second feature file, which will be locators. Okay, let's right click on the feature file. So I will go topic by topic. New file will be 02_ locators dot feature. Let me share this from the chat. Right, this is our second feature file. So we are going to write our feature keyword. This is locators feature. And I'm going to write my scenario. Scenario is, let's say test case 01, locators. So what we will do is, let me give you a link. Let me show you the manual steps first. What we will do is, okay. Right, I will share you a link. So here is test center, test page, sharing from the chat. So what we will do is we are going to enter Techpro as username right here, and super secret password in the password section, and click submit. Try one more time. Techpro. Submit. Yeah, we will log in with this credential, and then we will maybe log out from the page. Okay. So for that, in automation, we have to do manual testing first. So I entered my username, I entered my password, then clicked submit button, enter username, enter password, click submit button. Click submit button. Okay. And then verify the login is successful. This is the test case. We will automate this test case. So it is so simple with manual testing, but we will need to automate that one. And then we will click on logout button, and then we will be back on this page. So for that, we need to locate 1, 2, and 3 elements. Let's do that. So right click and inspect the page. Right click and inspect the page. This page right here. These are the HTML elements behind the input. And if you right click on this password input, inspect, it will take you to the HTML element for that password. And if you right click on submit button and input, inspect, then you will see locate of those HTML elements. So locators are pretty much the kind of finding the elements. So how Selenide is going to see and type in here. How Selenide will do that? We first need to locate. Right click, inspect that element. Okay. So we will locate them. And again, to locate the elements, we can use either one of these strategies that I showed in the slide right here. We can either use the traditional way to locate the element, like by that name, by that ID, by that class name, by that expat, by CSS selector, or we can use this way. Either one is fine. Again, I prefer to use this by that function. So for that, we are going to first check the page. So this page has an ID. This page has an ID or a name I can use, or a class I can use, or I can write an expat. So it is all up to us, up to the tester's choice. So I will just use ID, okay, to locate that element. Let's see if the ID is unique. ID should be unique. I will copy and then search if it is unique. It is 4. Yeah, ID is unique. So we are going to locate this element. So I'm going to again use page object model. Again, it is a little bit longer at the beginning, but in the long term, it is a good investment. Here, guys, we have page folder. If you don't have page folder already, again, in the installation video, it was already created. But if you don't have it, you just right click on your Java folder and create a pages folder. Right click on Java, new package, and name it pages folder, like small. Okay, since I already have, I'm not going to create again. And in here, we need to create a new Java class. And that Java class will have my page classes. For instance, I am going to create a new Java class. The name of the class will be, let's say, that is test page. Okay, test page. That is test page. I am going to just create a class which is test. That is a test application right here. This is test center, Techpro education. So I just created that one right there. Okay, this is my test center page class. All objects in test center page will go here. Okay, so this has only one purpose, and to locate those elements. That's it. We are not gonna write any Java code, any other Java code in here. How do I locate that object? Let's go back. Okay, and by the way, this is the most important skill that an automation tester should know. You know, we always keep locating the elements on the web page. So this one has an ID. So I'm gonna just double click on that, double click on the ID value and copy the ID, copy that. Because if you misspell when you type, you will get some error. And I will use $sign, and I am using by.id method, by.id. By the way, by is coming from Selenium. Again, we can use Selenium and Selenide together. by.id. Okay. In fact, yeah, so it is giving some here. This is not resolved. So what we need to do is in Selenide, we need to import these two classes, okay, by default. So they are static class, and in the installation video again, I showed that to you. Let me share this to static. Just by default, import them if you use or not use. Just import them, okay? And try again. I'm gonna use here $sign. Okay. $sign. See my POM right here. Okay. Refresh my page. Right. Okay. Now there is no page factory here. There is no like page factory, nothing. We just go straight forward. So there are actually two ways to do. I will show you both. Let me create the method way. So we are gonna put Selenide element. Okay, this one right here. Selenide element, and let's say username. Okay, username. This is going to return the element that we are trying to locate. The element that we are trying to locate. The element that we are trying to locate is by.id. The ID of that element is, what was the ID of the element? Let's see. The ID of the element is right here. Okay, we are done. So this is coming from this library. So if we need to locate that dollar symbol, we need to import this library. Then it will be resolved. Okay, this one is resolved now. This is way one. Okay, we can locating the element using function. Okay, nothing wrong with this. This is fine. Or alternatively, I will comment this out. Alternatively, we can locate the element. By ID. Okay, same element by ID. And we can store it in a web Selenide element. So let's put in a public Selenide element. Let's give a name, and I will give username. Okay. So when you locate the element, you can store it in Selenium. This is web element. Okay, let me put that note here. Web element is now Selenide element. Okay, now right here. And again, there is no page factory, nothing like that. This will automatically resolve the issue. This will automatically locate the element, and we will be able to use that element in the page, in the test class. Okay, let me put here, or alternatively. So either we can use this function, or we can use this public web Selenide element to use in our test classes. Let me share this. So we have two more to locate. So we located the username. We will type here Techpro add. Now we will locate this password. Right click on the password input, inspect, and then this one, does it have an ID? Yes, this one has an ID. Let's copy this ID for password. And I will do this. Public Selenide element password is equal to dollar open by.id. ID is, there we go. And finally, I will locate one last element, which is submit button. So let's say we locate it then, and we will type in super secret password. And then right click on submit button, inspect. This does not have an ID. Class is not preferred way to locate. So let's write an XPath for it. I'm going to write an XPath button at type is equal to submit. Okay. Button is the tag name. Type is the attribute name. Submit is the value of the type. This is how we write XPath in Selenium or Selenide. So let me locate that last thing. Public Selenide element. This is submit button is equal to by that XPath. XPath is right here. Okay. So far, we located the username element, password element, and submit button. This is how we locate the elements and store it in a in our container variables. So this is the preferred way. We don't use lots of function. We can use if you want to, but this is straightforward. Okay, so let me share the final version. There we go. Okay, so we are done with locating page element. Okay, number one, locate the page element, and in Selenide, we locate the page objects like that in page object model. No need to use page factory or no need to use constructor in here. What is next? So we located the element. Okay, good. We locate the element. That is good. Did we write our test case? Let's see, future file right here. No, we did not. So let's write the future file. Let's create our test case. Let's create our test case. Our test case will be, whatever we are doing manually. So first of all, we need to go to the URL. And I already have a step definition, reusable step definition. So given I navigate, right? Navigate to. So we already created a step definition that takes us to any page. Which page we want to go in this test case? We want to go this page. Let's go here. I will share the link with you. I want to go to this page. Okay. I am on that page. Then what? Then what I am supposed to do, right? Next is type in username, type in password, click on submit button. Let's write those 3 steps. And I enter username and I enter password and I enter submit button. Okay, so then what? Okay, I enter username, I enter password, then click submit button. Then maybe I can verify if this page is displayed, or maybe I can verify if logout button is displayed, right? So let me inspect this logout button. Yeah, if that logout button is displayed, but let's first complete this step so far. Okay. This is my test case. I'm sharing this with you from the chat. Right. So let's guys give also a tag name for this. So let's say this is locators tag. If you see green button, click on this green button. If you don't see green button, then you can use runner again. I will use runner. I'm going to copy this and I will go to runner. So now my tag is locators. I'm going to run the locators 1. I'm going to and dry run true. So we do dry run true to generate the missing step definition. So there are, missing step definition here. How many missing step definition we have? I got 3 missing step definition. This is already done. We already did that one, but we have 3 steps, new steps. So I'm going to make dry run true to get them short easily without wasting my, time. I can generate them. Let's see if is there any missing step definition. Yeah, there is. There is enter username, enter password, enter submit button. I'm going to copy this. Okay, copy that. Okay. So I will make a summary today by the end of the class with the page object model. For those of you who are not comfortable with page object model, it feels a lot of complication here. May feel like you may feel that lots of complication stuff. But again, I'm expecting you to already be familiar with page object model. So it will be easy. But if you also know page object model background, if you never used, never heard, you can also try to catch up and maybe watch the recording one more time. So these step definitions, these are new Java code. Again, Java code will go to step definitions folder. Page object will go to the page folder. Test cases will go to the futures folder. These 3 folders are working together. Page object, test cases, Java codes. These are English step definitions, or sorry, English test cases, future file. Now I am going to create a new step definition class, because the class that is created, this is for Google. This is not for, you know, our new page. We are not on Google anymore. We are on a different page. So page object model recommends us to create different pages for each page. Now, I am going to create a new Java class under step definitions. The name of the Java class will be, maybe we can say, test page step definitions. Okay. Test page step definitions. Let me share that class name. Test page step definitions. So we will copy the code. These are also known as step definitions, you know, right here. The name of those templates are step definitions. We are going to write them right in here. Okay. Again, we have to clear inside these throw exceptions. Java is giving that us as a warning. And now we have to hover over these Gherkin languages. Refresh. Happened. Let me open one more time. Somehow system kicked me out. Let me do one more time. All right, so now we have here, we were on test page step definitions. Now we are going to import these given from Cucumber. Just a second, my IntelliJ is a bit slow. It looks like it is updating. All right, let's wait for a minute. So while it is updating, what we did again is we are able to, you know, locate the page objects, test page objects, username, password, submit button. Now we are going to call those objects and use them in the test cases as part of page object model implementation. This is not required in normal frameworks, but in page object model, this is going to keep our framework clean and reusable. So we never need to relocate those elements again, ever again. So we just need to call them whenever we need with this page object model. So I'm going to, I think my index is done. Let me go up here and then import classes. Make sure to import from Java. Now, what am I supposed to do to enter my username? Right? In Java, in page object model, we have to create the page object first. Okay. Where is my page objects? In which class? In which class my page objects are? Let's find out. Let me close all this stuff. Okay, right here. Split this. Okay. So my page objects are in my test page class. In my test page class. So let's create a test page object. Test page. Okay, right here. Test page. Test page is equal to new test page. Let's create them. Now I can have access to these username, password, and submit button. Let's do that. I will say test page dot, when I say test page dot, I will see those three objects will be available. Test page dot in page object model, or in Java OOP concept. When you create a page object, you can access to the public elements. In here, I can have access to username, password, submit button, but this specific method tell me to call username. I will call username. That, okay. In Selenium, we use send keys method. In Selenium, we use send key method. In here, we use, there is send key here, but in Selenide, there is set value function. If you use send keys, it will be Selenium future. Okay. If you say send keys, this means you are using Selenium. But if you use set value, this is stronger and recommended to use with Selenide. Stronger, okay? So use set value dot. Again, we can type the value that we want to send. So which value we want to send? Let's go back here. Back. My username is Techpro. I'm going to copy, paste. Okay. There we go. And similarly, I will now enter my password in the password field. I will set value to my password field. So I'm going to go to test page dot password dot. Again, you can use send key. That is part of Selenium, but use set value for Selenide. Okay. Set value. What is my password? My password is here. Super secret password. Nobody can find it. All right, now my password. Last one is we need to enter submit button. Actually, we should say click submit button anyway. I will say here test page, go to test page, give me the submit button element, and then click on it. We are not gonna type anything in the button. We are just gonna click. So use click function. Right? We can also combine some of the values as well, but here for now, let's do that. We can also use here after this, we can also press enter. But I will show you press enter later, not now, okay? So we can click on that element. I'm gonna share this test page step definitions. That is going to let us enter the page. Let me run my runner. I'm gonna go to my runner. Dry run true. Now I am done with my test cases. I can run it on a browser. So make dry run false to run the test cases on the browser. I'm going to run my runner. Okay, waiting for entering username. Let's see. And by the way, guys, this Selenide waits 4 seconds. Default wait time is 4 seconds for Selenide. Okay, did it? Yeah, it looks like it passed, but let me also wait. You know, I don't want to close the browser, so I'm going to hold the browser open. Let me hold the browser open. I want to see. Yeah, I will hold the browser open as well, because I want to see the login is successful. Username. A little bit slow. Normally it's not that slow. Yeah, as you see, guys, we are able to log in the page. we are able to log in the page. Let's do a full testing. Let's also log out the page. Or let's do say a little bit assertion here. So we can do some assertion as well in Selenium. Actually, I want to do assertion after the break. Let's do log out, then take a break, okay? Take a 15-minute break. I want to show you the assertion after the break. Right now, let's locate this logout element. Okay, let's locate the logout element. And then click on the logout, then take a break. I'm going to inspect. Right click on logout and inspect. Okay, right here. Here. So we can locate this element, but where we are going to locate that element? In which class? Again, we are on the same test center page. So by the way, this is a weird element, as you see. This is a weird element. There's the link. At the same time, it has a text in here. We should be careful when we find this kind of element. So this is a link. I would like to show you how to use partial link in here. Again, partial link is also a locator in Selenide and Selenium that accepts a part of a text or substring of a link. So let's do that. The name of the link is logout. I will go to my page class. So we are going to locate any element. Whenever we locate any element for that test page, we have to use test page class. Okay, we have to be really organized. It will help for the company and for reusability purpose. I'm going to do public Selenide element. This is my logout button or logout link is equal to. Let's locate that logout link. By that, now I would like to use. So we used ID, we used expat, we can use name, link text, CSS, class name, class, not class, but partial link text. So you can use all these by element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can use all of 8 locators. Now I want to show you link, partial link. There are 2 ways to locate links, either link text or partial link text. Partial link text accept part of a link, substring. Link text wants you to enter exact text, 100% match. I will use partial link text because there is a space in that element that can break the code. So logout will take care of the spaces in before and after the text. The logout link, there we go. Share this. And then I'll just click on that logout link. But did I write my, yeah, let's go to the step. And after, we entered username, we entered password, we clicked on the submit button. Now, and I click on logout link. Okay, for that, and I click on logout link, adding an if step for that test case. Now we will click on logout link. For that, I will do my dry run through again to generate my missing step definition. Here it is. Here it is. Right click, copy, and put it in here. So I created my page object in the page class. I will create my Java code in the step definition class. Just paste it. Okay, this is my page class. This is my step definition class. I'm going to do, go to test page, give me the logout link that I just created, and just click on it. There we go. Okay. And we are done. So in fact, we can put some wait in between, maybe after the submit button. and what was it? Yeah, wait for maybe 3 seconds. After logout link, wait for 3 seconds and see if everything is looking good. I just put some wait to see this slow motion. Otherwise, it will close the link very fast. So I just want to see the steps. So I will share the future file. Share the future file. Let me share the step definition. Okay. And run the class and see how it goes. Make sure you do try run. Pause again. Run your test case. So now we should be doing like full flow, like login and logout test with automation. We will learn how to do assertions in Selenide in the next session, but we will take break and we will have one more session, okay? So let's see if the logout is successful. Yeah, logout is also successful. So we are able to do a full end-to-end flow. We did login, then logout. I will show you the verification and assertion after the break because Selenide has very cool assertions. I would like to show you the ones that is specific to Selenide and also the one that you can use the Selenium assertions in Selenide. So let's take a 15-minute break. Let's come back at, let's say 30-minute break, come back at 12:50 a.m. Central. Okay. Here. p.m. Central. I will push the code meanwhile. You can check any missing code, and I will give you the GitHub link so far. Okay, there it is. I will share the link. You can get the missing code if you need any code from there. All right, can you hear me fine? Okay, perfect. All right, let's continue. So we are going to have, we are going to end the class in about, 1 hour and 10 minutes later. So one more session. So in this session, we are going to focus on assertions, which is an important part of, again, testing, automation testing. And we are going to just talk about how do we use first Selenium assertions in Selenide framework. 2, is there any other easier way or different ways to do assertions in Selenide? We will focus on these 2. First of all, I would like to open my slide presentation and show you this slide. So assertions are an important part of testing. Whether you are a manual tester, you have to do assertion. You just need to observe if expected value or expected behavior is equal to actual value or actual behavior. That is what assertion means. Automation makes this process automated using some library, which is coming from either Selenium WebDriver or Selenide. I will show you both. We can use normally, JUnit assertions, TestNG assertions, Cucumber assertions in Selenide framework. Again, Selenide and Selenium mixed. Selenide has, Selenium feature plus more. You can still use all those current knowledge if you already have some training on Selenium WebDriver. Plus, these are Selenium WebDriver, assert true, assert equals, assert false. No problem, you can use. Plus, Selenide has also its own useful assertions, which is making the verification a little bit more reliable, and you have more options to use. We had previously Cypress classes. Cypress, if any of you watched our Cypress, recordings, then you will remember this structure. We don't have to use assert class anymore with Selenide. We can use some functions such as should be, or should have, or should not have. We have that kind of assertions, which is making assertion process easier, a little bit easier, and you have more options. So you don't need to write much Java code. For instance, I put here, 4 of them. For instance, you located an element and you want to make sure that element is existing on the page, or that element is visible on the page. What we then do is, this element, let's say this is an input box or username field or a login button, one of those. If that element is displayed on the page and you want to automate that process, you want to make sure that that element exists on the page, then we locate that element and say should be visible. This visible I will talk about when we write our Java code. I will talk a little bit about it. This is short version. Actually, it is coming from a condition class in Selenide that I will be showing you that one as well. So, but this short version is visible. This is more understandable, so I put them in here, but I will show you what is the logic that. So sometimes when it is too short, it is also harder to understand, but I will expand this when we write our Java code. What this does is, this should be visible. We'll check if that element right here is visible or is existing on the page. Similar, one more method, which is should exist method. That is also, these two does the same thing. This also check if element is present on the page. Either use this one or this one. Both of them are almost the same. What if you want to do negative test case, negative test case, and you want to verify if something does not exist on the page? Let's say there is an element or there is a page, and you want to check that page should have, first let me show you, should have, that page has something, a specific text on the page, and a specific text. But you want to make sure that part of text is enough. So what this should have, text, and you pass the piece of text here. What this does is it checks if a text exists on the page. You can pass here partial text as well. Partial text, this except partial text. It should have text function, and you put down some text. This is going to check if a text is contained in the page, part of the text. You can put here, if you want to check exact text, you can put here. Let me also copy that and add it here. Just like that. Should have exact text. If we use should have exact text, then this will check if the exact text, if the exact text is in the page. This is gonna be, if you just pass partial text, if there is no 100% match, it will return false. So this will fail. So the difference between should have text and should have exact text is this is gonna accept partial text, and if check if that partial text is on the page, this is gonna accept exact full text if that full text exists on the page. And for the negative test case I was talking about, it is easier to do negative test case assertion with Selenide. All we have to do is if the element should not have the condition. Again, this condition, I just put here some samples, which is very, very common and useful. There are a few more, functions that you can locate. All you have to do is go to Selenide documentation and search for how to do certain things. But again, 80%, 90% of the time, visible, exist, text, exact text, these are more than enough. So again, in Selenide, we can do either, we can use normal JUnit assertions or TestNG assertions or Cucumber assertions, whichever framework you are using, or we can use specific Selenide specific assertions. Right? Is there any question? You can let me know from the chat, or else I will create my test case to use these assertions. Right? Okay, so let's see. We are going to write our test case first. Again, the step using Cucumber, always the same. Write your future file, generate step definition, write your Java code. Write future file, generate step definition, write your Java code in that step definition. In between, if you need to locate the page object, use that page folder. I'm gonna write my future file first. Right click on the futures and write here 03 underscore assertions. Okay, assertions. Sorry, assertions dot feature. Assertions dot feature. I'm going to write my future keyword to get started, and I will say here assertions and I will put a tag at the top for this future file, a unique tag at, let's say, assertions tag, writing my scenario or test case 01. Let's say in here, title assertion. So let's say verify title or verify title, okay, page title. So let's go to our techproeducation.com and do some assertion in that page. Techproeducation.com. Let me share this link. So we are going to verify if the page title means the information at the top right here. Okay, this is the title of the page. It is very important for SEO, search engine optimization. It should be brief and very broad, and it should just reflect the company information. Usually it has the company name and brief information about the company. For example, Techpro Education is Techpro Education, and then online IT courses bootcamp. So we are going to verify if the title, for example, contains a specific text. Let's say if title contains Techpro Education. Let's do that test case. Again, I will show you first the traditional Selenium way, so you can see that, I mean, you can easily use the existing knowledge if you already know Selenium. Let's go to the page when I navigate, given I navigate to techproeducation.com. Okay, that was the link of the page. And let's do straightforward. And I get the title of the page, of the current page, and verify if it contains some specific string. For example, if it contains, I am doing this string because I want this to be reusable so that I can use this reusable step in any page. For example, I can go to Google and verify if the Google has Google keyword. Go to Amazon, if Amazon has Amazon keyword. Go to eBay, verify if the page title contains eBay keyword. So this is reusable. That's why I am using string. So I'm going to say Techpro Education. Okay. So I'm going to go to this page and check if the page title contains, Techpro Education. Again, this is a new step definition. Again, we are, in Cucumber. In the first couple, test cases, you have to write a lot of Java code, step definition. But after a while, if you keep writing good enough, you never need to write any single Java code anymore. But here we are at the beginning, so we have to write our Java code. So I'm going to run this tag from my runner to generate the missing step definition for line 5. Let me go to runner. Put that and run your runner to generate that missing step definition. I will show you again how to do that assertion with traditional Selenium knowledge. Then we will be doing the Selenide way, more advanced way. Okay, since assertion is important, I will show you both. Oh, I did not do true. Okay, anyway, so it generated my missing step definition right here. Okay, got it. So this page is not a Google page. That page is also not test page, but that page is Techpro Education page. So I'm going to put here any step definition right here, any step definition class and name it Techpro step definitions. Okay, say that Techpro step definitions. Again, I am doing this because this is not a Google page. This is not a test page. This is Techpro education page. Okay, so there we go. Techpro step definitions. I'm going to put that code in here. And same steps, import that given statement. And here, we are going to get the title, and we are going to verify if the title contains our keyword, which is the title keyword, whatever we've passed from the step definition. How do I get title of the page in Selenide? How do I get title of the page? So in fact, we can also create a common step definition to get the title of the page, or we can use this kind of page specific definition, but I will just put here getting the title of the page. Okay, so how I get the title of the page? All I have to do is use, but first, of course, we have to just import that static Selenide imports, which is right here. Okay, we can import this guy right here, Selenide library. I'm going to import here, and I will say title, guys. All we have to say is title. That's it. Title. Title. Contains, title contains what? Title contains the title that we passed from the future file. I will put here string. Title contains string. This is going to return a Boolean. Boolean is true. Is true. And we will say normal assert function that is coming from JUnit, because we are using Cucumber with JUnit. Assert that assert true is true. So we can say that in 2 steps, right? Or we can simply get this information, cut it, and put it right here. This is going to do the assertion in 1 single step. I showed you both, whichever you use, you can use. This is going to get the title. This is going to get the title of the page, and we are checking if that contains the statement that we passed from the future file, which is Techpro education. Okay, so here, in this case, let me draw a picture really quick. Okay, so what happened is we created a future file, and that future file has a new step, which is getting the title and checking if the title contains Techpro education. And we did it dynamically, and we used our current, Selenium knowledge, which is not 100% Selenide. So I showed you how to use existing traditional assertions. No issue. This is used to check if something is true or false. We check the title. This will return the title of the page. Okay, title of the current page. We are currently in techproeducation.com. And that Techpro education page title is that title contains the string which is equal to this guy right here. Okay. So what happens is, right here, let me show you, there's something interesting happening here. What happens is, this cucumber is passing this parameterized data. This is a data. Cucumber is passing to that data in here automatically. Now this is equal to actually Techpro education. And then this is Techpro education. So the system dynamically checking if the current title contains Techpro education or not. If it contains Techpro education, it will return true, test case will pass. If it doesn't contain Techpro education, page title doesn't contain Techpro education, then test case will fail. So that is what it is. I'm going to just go ahead and close it and then run my test case. First, let me share this feature file and step definition. Share my feature file and test step definition. And I'm going to run my runner class. I'm going to run my runner class for that assertion. So expecting to go to the Techpro education and then get the title and do assertion. If the title contains Techpro education, test case will pass. Okay, let's see. Yeah, test case is passed. So this is normal, traditional way of writing the test cases. This is normal, traditional way of writing the test cases. So what else we can do to verify the page title with Selenide? So we can actually use the Selenide specific features to do the assertion. So I am going to do that right now. Let's see. Okay. Let's write here one more feature file, and name it 04 underscore assertions dot feature. Assertions 2 dot feature. Assertions 2 dot feature. So in this assertions 2 dot feature, I will do some Google search and then check if the search result exists. So I'm going to do some, feature file first and do these assertions to feature. And I'm going to write some scenario, test case 01. This is going to be just search for Tesla. Okay. Search for Tesla. And I will write here test case 01 given I navigate to Google when I search for example, Tesla, Then verify the result should contain about keyword. Okay. The result section contains about keyword, and before that, I would like to do a little bit more. Before that, I also would like to maybe check, then verify, for example, page source. Page source. That page source contains Tesla. Okay, Tesla. I will also show you contains. So I will show you a few things here. The test cases, we will go to Google and then search for Tesla and then check if the page source contains Tesla, and also verify the result should contain about keyword. So what does it mean? Let me show you one by one. Let me first share this from the chat. I am going to go to my page, go to Google and search for Tesla. Search for Tesla. So a few things we will do here. We are going to first get the page source. Okay, for example, we have page source. We are going to get the page source right here. And we are going to search if the page source contains Tesla keyword. Okay, Tesla keyword. Page source contains, for example, right here, Tesla, the page source contains Tesla keyword. This is test case 1. This is test case 1. Test case 2 is, this next step is verify if the results section right here. If you have in a different country, maybe your language can be different. So I will check if that section contains about keyword or maybe result keyword, but I will check if that section contains about keyword. This is the second test case. That is the manual testing. We verified the test should pass. We can start automating. As always, I write my test case. Okay, I create my test case. Create a test case. Then I need to create page objects in the page class. Then generate step definitions. Actually, let's say create create step definitions in the step definitions page or folder. This should also in the page folder. Okay, so we are done with the first one. We created the test cases in future folder. Now we will create the page object in the page folder. In the pages, we don't have Google page elements yet. So we need to create the page objects. Which objects we need? First of all, we need this object right here. Okay, we need this object first of all. Let's do it. We need to locate this object, and this one has an ID. Let's see if the ID is unique. Yeah, this input is not a good choice to use, but let me see what else we can use. This should have a name queue. Let's see. Okay, let me check. Anyway, so we can just locate this one. Input type search. We can also write an XPath for it. Like input is the tag name, type is the attribute, search is the value. Input, type, search. Okay, let me see just a second. Okay. This one, let me just a second, let me open it Google. Okay. Let me search one more time. Yeah, now sometimes different pages show me different things. So here, yeah, name queue. So guys, when we open the Google page with automation, we can basically write the locate the element by name queue, which is unique. So this is very popular automation structure. So I'm gonna locate the element by name, which is queue. So let's locate the element by name queue. But first, we need to create a page object because we are no longer at the test page. So to be organized again, we are going to create a new Java class. The name of the Java class will be Google page. Google page. And I'm going to locate public Selenide element, which is Google search box is equal to $, because I'm going to locate the element, which is by name Q. By name. Name of the element is Q. Okay, and this is not resolving. We need to import that. Import that static method from Selenide. There we go. So we are locating the Google search box with this syntax that we just learned today. And also we need to locate, we said we are going to search for Tesla. We are going to search for Tesla and verify this section contains about keyword. I'm going to inspect that. Looks like that has an ID. Let's see if the ID is unique. If the ID is unique, we can locate this section right here, the result section, by the ID. Public Selenide element result section is equal to by that ID. ID is result stats. Okay, done. So these two is what I need to complete my automation script. So we are done. So this was done. Okay, we created the page object. It is done. Now we need to create step definition. And we just learned, also saw how to create step definition. All we have to do is, I'm going to add a tag on this one. So I'm going to add a tag, assertions, true tag. Runner, my runner, and run this tag. And I will do dry run true because I'm expecting missing step definitions. So generating step definitions right now. There we go. We have search step definition, page source step definition, and result step definition. Let's copy these. copy this, and put it in our Google step definitions. We already have a Google step definition, so we can use the same class for Google because this test case is about Google page. I'm going to go all the way down and put that code in there. And if you see any red, all you have to do is just hover over and import. Importing. Let's clean this up. Now I search for something. I search for what? So I'm going to search for the Tesla in this test case. And we've already parameterized that future file. So it is going to be easy to do the search test in Google. So it is already parameterized. To, again, do some search test, we need to go to Google page first. But first, I have to create that Google page object. Google page object. Did I create Google page object already? No, not yet. So let's create this Google page object because in OOP, remember, we need to use page objects. Google page is equal to new Google page. Creating this Google page object so I can have access to those objects in that page. So go to Google page. Then search for something. We need to get the Google search box and then either use send keys or set value. I will use set value, which is going to be this one right here, set value. That instead of clicking an object, we can say press enter. Press enter. So in Selenide, by the way, we can use mouse and keyboard actions. We can press escape. We can press tab to put some space, or we can click enter, just like so, right here. So entering the value in the search box and clicking enter so the search can be done. Okay, let's run this so far, how it goes. I'm going to run my test case by making dry run true, dry run false, running the test case. All right, on the Google page, now I should type in Tesla and click enter button. And as expected, we are able to search for Tesla so far. Okay, so search for Tesla. Let me go here. So we are able to search for Tesla and press enter. Then we need to check if the page source contains the Tesla that we already searched for. So how do we get the page source and then check if the page source contains a specific keyword? We can get the page source easily with Selenium or Selenide. So, you know, but here it is a little bit different. Right here, it is like we cannot just say get page source like we did in title. In title, we are able to get the title by just using title keyword. For example, if you say title, you get title. If you say URL, you get URL. But in Selenide, actually URL and title, URL and source is the same. We need to use web driver runner. Web driver runner. This is important, okay? And different. Web driver runner. In Selenium, we have web driver class. In Selenide, we have web driver runner. So let's see web driver runner. What is it for? And it is coming from Selenide, right? Web driver runner can be used to close the driver, like driver.close driver, remember, in Selenium. In here, it is same as web driver runner.close driver. But by default, system automatically closes the driver. But if there are multiple windows, you can close each and every single driver. We can get normal driver. This is the same as driver plus in Selenium, similar. We can get the page source. This is what we will use. If we can clear the browser cache, it means there are some, in the history of the browser, there are some stuff that you can clear. You can close the window as well. Difference between these two, this closes the current window. This is closing all of the window. It is like driver.close and driver.quit in Selenium. We can get, if there is any frame, we can get frame URL. We can get and check the web driver, etc., etc. Okay. We can also change some of the drivers. Check if we are using Chrome driver, Edge driver, Firefox, or headless driver. We can work with the listeners, etc. Okay. But what is important is we are going to get the page source. Even we can get the URL in here as well. So we can get the URL or we can get the page source. Let me add this one in here. Okay, this returns the URL of the page. We are not going to use it. I'm just adding as a note for you. But what we need is WebDriver runner dot get just source. Yeah. Source. This is going to return returns the page source. This is same as get page source in Selenium. This is the same as get current URL in Selenium. Okay. So WebDriver runner is used that kind of logic that we can use sometimes, to get the data about the page. So what is that returning? We can, put that in a string. This WebDriver runner dot source method returns a string. We can put this in a string. Let's see. Do that. Page source. I'm going to print it to see what is in there. It should be long, long information. It is going to return all of the HTML source of the page. Just to see. And more importantly, now we need to do verification. If the, page source contains, if the page source, okay, so true, if the page source, this string right here, contains the data that we are passing from the future file, which is this testa keyword, okay? That is something we already learned before. Now this is going to do some assertion. Now, this one is new for us. We are going to verify if the result contains the specific keyword that we are passing. The result contains a specific keyword that we are passing. So in here, I will show you a few examples. First of all, let's go to the Google page and then get the result section. Okay, result section. We are going to, check if that result section, by the way, what was the result section? Result section is this piece right here. This is the result section right here. This is the result section. This is the result section. If that section contains string. So what I can say normally is that result section for example, I can say toString contains string. I can say that with normal Java and Selenium. But now what I will say is should functions. Okay. Yeah, let me share the Google page. Yeah, let me know if you need any page, guys. I'm going fast. I know, as I said at the beginning, this is a kind of an upskill class. It is okay to go faster, but if you need anything, if you have any question, one of my eye is in the chat, so you can let me know your questions, right? So next is, guys, as I showed you, there are a few different ways to verify in Selenium, to do assertion in Selenide. And these are kind of Cypress functions. Cypress is similar to Selenide, but it is also another framework. In here, we have different options. We can use should be, should have, should not be, should not have. Okay, that's pretty much it. And these can accept different parameters. It is dynamic. So first of all, I would like to show you first if that string is visible on the page. Okay, that string is visible on the page. Okay, Google page, the result section should be. Oh, sorry. Yeah, should be. First of all, okay. First of all, this is the test case. This result section. First of all, if you want to check if that element is visible on the page or displayed on the page or exist on the page, what we can do is we can just say should be visible. Okay, should be visible. This is going to check if my element, which is this guy right here, this result section in the Google page, checks if this element is visible on the page, right? This is one assertion that we can use. We can use that one in here as well. The second one is I will check if result section if that result section should have this text that I sent. However, guys, this is a web element. We should get the text of that web element. So all we have to do is right here, get the text of that element and then pass that string. So what this does is, this is going to get the text on that page, which is this. Okay, this is the text. It's going to get the exact text, not exact text, but it is going to check the text from there, which is this. Okay, and it will check if that text contains my word, which is about. Okay, if the text contains this guy right here. Okay, so it is this one is the same as that. This one is the same as that. Let me also put that next to each other, just like this, right? This is the same as that. We use this one a lot in Selenium, but we never use something like this in Selenium. In here, Selenide should have function exist. This one and this one is the same, or can be used. Okay, so just make sure you are aware of this one and that one is the same. So you have to use text to convert to get the text form of this element. It is going to get the text of the element. Okay, and check if the text contains the keyword that you are passing. Okay, we already said if that this is going to check if that element is visible on the page. Let me show you something interesting also. The negative test case, for example, that Google page result section should not have some, for example, Mercedes. Okay, something like this. Mercedes truck, something like this. Okay. But I will have to also pass the text right here again to get the text form of that element. This is like negative test case. Negative test case. Checking if the element text does not contain Mercedes truck keyword. Okay, so it is pretty much it. Instead of using assert, not, or exclamation mark in Java, we can simply use this for negative test case. Okay, so it is pretty much it. Let me share this with you. I'll share this with you. So what we just did is we checked, we get the text of that element right here. We first check if that element exactly, or if that element contains about keyword using should have function. We check if that element does not contain Mercedes truck keyword using should not have function. We also checked if that element is visible on the page by using should be visible function. And also we learned we can also use traditional Selenium functions, such as like we can also do like this. Okay, let me complete this one. Just like this. In this case, guys, we have to use assertion, right? Assertion, assert that, assert true, something like that. We have to use assertion like this. So we can also use normal traditional assertion just like so. But I will comment this out and would like to focus on this different functions in Selenide. Right. So that was pretty much it for this section. So should be visible checks if the element is displayed. I will also, let me show you also exist. Should have will accept the text and check if the text contains if the text is part of that element. By the way, we can also pass the exact text. So, if you want to use exact text, for example, Google page, result section should have exact text, whatever the exact text is. So we have to get the exact text from there and then pass that 100% match, this one right here. This one, whatever you see in this right here, this is the exact text. We have to copy that and put it in here. But it will fail because now I see 72, million. In that case, next time I search, maybe it will be 500 million, right? I don't know. So it is not a good idea to check to use that exact text, but I can put it here and then comment it out. And this will checks the exact match. Text match, okay? So it is pretty much it. All right, so let me share this Google related test cases. This is Google step definition. This is test case. So today we are almost done, but I will show you one last thing about, the getting multiple element. Then we will be done in about maybe 5 minutes. But first, let's also run the test class. We did not run to make sure if it is passing or not. I'm going to run the test case to see if my test case is passing. Page is opening here. Okay, it failed. Let's see why it failed. I was expecting this to pass. Let's see what this is the Google page source. I will need to comment out that. So as you see, guys, this is the page source. I just need to find where the test case failed. It's going to be at the bottom of the page. Element should have exact text. Where is it? Oh, yeah, this failed because by mistake, I forget to comment this out right here. This line of code, guys, right here, make sure to comment this out. Let me share now the new page. So make sure you comment that out. That's why it failed. Let me run one more time. And actually, I will not print anything. There's too much to print. What's the print? Yeah, this is page source. I will not print that out. Okay, let's run and see if the test case is passing. If that element is running as expected. Okay, let's see. Okay, looking good. Is there any question on assertions? We can use Selenium assertions or Selenide assertions, which is preferred in this case. Okay. So one last thing, and we are done for today. So one last thing is, I would like to, what would you do if you get all of the links of the page, 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, right? There are many pages. What would you do if you want to get all of the link and make sure the first link contains, which is this one right here, the first link contains Tesla keyword? What would you do? Now, in this case, I need to inspect and get all of the all of the elements, that is all of the links. So now I will show you how to get multiple links. Remember, I said right here when we learn how to locate the elements, right here, we can use single $sign to locate single element and double $sign to locate list of elements or elements collection. So I will show you that right now, and then we will be done. First of all, we need to find a common, we need to do common element to locate that will return all of the element that is on the page. For example, and they are usually the class. Usually the classes are going to return the elements. Okay, usually the classes. See. I will write an expect class name. Class equal to, let me see the classes of this one. Or maybe this one right here. Okay, class G. Okay, so this is class 1 right here. This is the first result. Let me try this class G. Right? There are seven elements in the section. Okay, 7 elements in the section. So I would like to check if the first section right here, returns or contains Tesla keyword. So there are 7 sections, and I would like to get the first one. So what I need to do is, let me share this expect. This expect is going to return all of the section. Okay, section 1 right here, then section 2 right here, then section 3 right here, section 4 right here, okay, and so on and so forth. They are the sections on the page. I just would like to show you how to return multiple elements and use them. How to return multiple elements and use them. I will go to Google page, and then I will here create public. Now I am expecting an element collection. Element collection. I will say, get all sections is equal to double $sign by that expect. Expect is this. Okay, this is going to return to me all of the sections. So since we are using this for the first time, we need to import that static method right here. There we go. That is coming from Selenide. Okay, this is one thing that we have to put in our Google page. Then I will just call that section, call this element in my step definition. Okay, but let me write that down. I'm going to say, I'm going to write a new future file to, explain that situation. So I will say here, the last step definition is then the first result in the page sections should contain, again, Tesla. Okay, should contain Tesla. What it means is I will do search, I will get multiple element, and I will check the first element contains that Tesla keyword. This is just, I would like to show you that how do you interact with multiple elements in Selenide. just for that purpose. Let me, generate that missing step definition by doing dry run true. This is the part that I need. Putting that in my Google step definition. Putting that in my step definition. So I'm gonna get my Google page and I will call my all section. Guys, this is going to return a list of Selenide element or element collection. So I need to get the first one. I need to get, just like in a list, right? In a list, you can get the first element by using the 0 index. This is going to return the first result in all sections. The first result in all sections. Then I can again use the same content that I used right here. I can use the same content that I used right here, which is should have text string. Okay, this will check. Checks. We don't need to use any loop. We don't need to use any loop. We will get all of the 7 sections, but we will get the first one only. And we will check if the first result has or contains the keyword, which is Tesla. Checks if the first section contains Tesla keyword. Right? So let's run this one. I will do dry run false and running the test case. Okay, search for Tesla, do some verification, and there we go. So we are able to pass that. The test case is passing. It means the first result in our search result list contains Tesla. This is how we locate, how we can write a locator that returns multiple elements. Okay, that's it for today. So I will push the code again. So this is a little bit fast-paced course. So I'm going to just push the code. So if you have any question, any concern, you can write from our live channel, Selenide live channel. As soon as I say, I will reply. Or else you can also get the code from the GitHub repository. So this is going to be day 01. Git push. I will share the GitHub repository one more time. It is up here. Some Google page has some pop-up. As you see, all you have to do is, Ms. Büşra, you just need to locate accept all. You just need to locate that. And then click on that accept all button. As soon as you go to the page, for example, right here, right after here, you need to locate the accept all. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, you just need to locate this accept all element and then click. Okay, click. So just try to locate that. Since it is not showing up in mine, I cannot see that, but this is part of web page that you can locate, right? Try that. If it doesn't work, we can try something else. Okay, guys, have a good rest of the day. Bye for now. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. We have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, again, from 11 to 2 Central. Have a good rest of the day. Bye for now.